Hello and welcome to the Daily Tarot reading. This one is for Tuesday, July 22nd, 2025. Thanks for being here. I'm going to pull a few cards today and get an idea of the universal energy that we need to be aware of and what we can work with today as we move through the day and how we can be the best versions of ourselves spiritually as spirits riding these physical bodies in this physical world. And you can also look at this reading at the end of the day to kind of look back over the day and sort of use it as touchstones or anchor points to maybe get some illumination as to how the day proceeded and to reflect on the day and maybe gain more insight that way as well. You can do either or both. I'm going to pull a few cards and we'll see what the cards have to say about Tuesday, July 22nd. Okay. Right out of the bat, Temperance. Interesting. Okay, so Major Arcana energy today. First volunteer, that one was pretty quick and direct. Always a good sign. The second one is down here, right there. We'll get into Temperance here in just a minute. I hope everyone got through the day yesterday, was able to really pinpoint where some of those negative energies might have lined, those darker vibes. It was a very interesting day. The reading played out very interestingly for me. There's the other one. And so I'm very curious to see. I'm actually not surprised to see Temperance come up after yesterday, after we took a hard look at what was causing us anxiety and what was causing us disappointment. But we are focused on today, Tuesday, July 22nd, 2025. Temperance, Major Arcana, backed by, Death and Ten of Swords. Alrighty then. Whew. Well, I had to take a brief break to write down just the information that just washed into me. So this Mercury retrograde does not appear to be playing, and this time period seems to be one that is about releasing, right? It's about reviewing the things that aren't working, letting things go, getting ready, and moving through this new moon energy that we've talked about what sustains you, what moves you forward, what do you sustain, how do you keep going, how do you grow and become a better version, how do you evolve, how do you transform and stay focused in gratitude with what is sustaining you and what you are sustaining to others. And wow, this today feels very big. This feels like today is a chance for a turning point, to take a look at things in your life that are coming to a close and letting them go. Being brave enough to release what you might be clutching onto and holding onto. And the Temperance here is, this is the big energy, because this is about gentleness and flowing and moving from one phase to another. It has Tower energy, that one thing is coming to a close with the Death card, and something else is you can't see what's coming next, right? The Tower card would be more chaotic. There'd be just a crash of a lot of things that used to support you coming down. This is different. This is very different, and it feels very, very internal. That today is a chance to look at something that is closing and to let it go. I'm just looking at my notes here. It's about healing and reintegrating lessons. Like as that is released, as this comes to an end, it's about moving gracefully from one stage to another, and in the flow of things and balancing, and that the idea of temperance, of pouring one glass into another, pouring one chapter into another chapter and letting the past go, being brave enough to let that go. I've said that a couple times now. Nothing is broken. All right? Nothing is broken. It is only being remade. And this seems like a lot for one day. Sometimes I will look or rewatch a daily reading and be like, wow, that's a lot for one day. That's a lot to accomplish in 24 hours. But this feels like the energy is there too. You have a chance to look at something today and release it and let it go. You might have been able to identify it yesterday with the energy that was there and very present. Today, you can let that go. You can let things go and move on and take a step towards a new life today. And it's a matter of not grasping at things or trying to hang on to something that is on its way and transforming into something else. Now, the Ten of Swords card can mean that this might be painful, that something is coming to an end and you've been exhausted. It's caused you exhaustion and you're just tired and done. Or it's caused you to feel broken. And we don't want to feel that. That isn't, sometimes we have to feel that in order to learn the lesson of it. But once you've learned that lesson, then be aware of it. And that's, again, another lesson of the day is if you've been working very hard at something and it's time to shift, or you see that things need to shift, it doesn't mean you have to stop, but it does mean you have to reflect and understand and reintegrate your lessons and move on to something new or a modification of what wasn't working. Probably the most important thing that came into me with the notes that I was writing is it's about what rises when you are brave enough to let go. And today is about not only letting go, but also looking at what is going to come forward. And I know, again, this is a lot for a 24-hour period of time, but it feels like a big day today. Capital B, capital D, big day. And and it feels like an opportunity, much like what yesterday was. It may not be pretty or easy to look at those, what is a toxin in your life, or what are things that are dragging you down, but it's necessary. And this does feel like the natural next step of now it's time to cleanse the toxin. Now it's time to look at what is exhausting you, what is causing you these issues, and letting it go, letting that chapter end, letting that go, and being graceful and being brave and trusting the alchemy of the process. Okay. A lot today. Whew. I think for the punctuation card, I'm going to ask for, very specifically, I'm going to ask for advice on how best to move through this. I mean, right off the bat, I feel like it's important to take some time to sit with this, look at things, and ground yourself, and to reflect on what needs to be let go of. Now, listening to this, something may spark you immediately. Take time with that. Look at your next steps. Look at what you need to do to begin to let go, and be kind to yourself and gentle with the process. Again, this isn't a tower moment. This is a quiet shifting, going to the river and beginning to wash and move that energy from one cup to another, transmuting one energy into another. Okay? That's my advice right off the bat. That's what I get. But it's also about healing and graceful. The word graceful keeps coming up over and over. Like there is a grace that comes with trust and faith. So trust the process also just popped into my head. Today is a day to begin that. Today is a day to look at this, to really begin to make a stride towards it. And if something is popping in your head as I am talking about this and it's making sense to you, then don't doubt that. Okay, let's pull from the Angels and Ancestors deck. And we're asking not only for punctuation, but for assistance. What can help with this? What can we work on? What can we actually do to help with this process, to help this process move through as smoothly and fluidly as possible? It's right there in the top. It's in this top section. Ooh, wow. I had my eyes closed, so I'm not really sure how that happened. I'm going to have to go back and watch that video. Oh my gosh, you can't make this up. Okay, so we have 2 cards here. Wow. Spirit Fox, trust your talents in changing times. Trust. What did I say? Trust. You have to trust the process. You have to trust your ability and where you are and who you are now. You didn't just get here by accident. You got here through a series of choices and a strong core center of strength, right? And wisdom, and you've worked your way. You're still here. So you have talents. Trust those talents in changing times. Trust your connection. Trust your ability to move through this process today gracefully. Gracefully. So the message is pretty strong today. It's pretty clear. I'm glad I took time to sit with it and write stuff down. But today is a day to consciously begin to make a shift. Especially if you looked at the reading yesterday and you were able to identify those toxins, that venom, that those things that were causing you to not be in the present and connected spiritually. All right, gang. Whew. That was a doozy. Okay, so I hope everyone has a wonderful day, has a magical day, and is able to identify this peacefully and gracefully and with as little discomfort as possible. I'm wishing you all the best. I'm wishing you peace and strength. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. And you can also reach out to alongadifferentpath@gmail.com. And I will see you on tomorrow's reading. Mercury retrograde is in full effect as we head towards this new moon. Wow. Okay. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Be well, everyone. Be graceful. Bye.